Inspire, motivate, challenge.
So I want to go into BSN a little bit more now.
That's good.
Yeah, so I mean, you've given me some insights into how being in Pfizer and all the investments in trainings and all that you had prepared you to become the academician that you are today.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, it's not a very common or anything I have witnessed. It's not a common path for someone to work for so long in one industry and then become the dean of a prestigious institution like this without having some kind of I don't know, maybe just career path or longevity. So can you just give us some insights? Yes, you talk about being involved in BSN early on, but can you give us some insight into how this happened? How you eventually became the dean of BSN?
I would explain it. There's a factor of grace in everything, and when I speak of grace, I'm not trying to be religious, but I don't mind being accused of being spiritual. There's a factor of grace in everything. When I joined BSN in 2003 on part-time as a part-time action learning coach, success advisor, I had no ambition to join BSN as a school. I desired to retire after my career into a place like US and just be more like a part-time lecturer in a business school, sharing my experience of many years, decades in the pharma industry. That was the dream that I had.
Many of your colleagues.
Correct. So that's the kind of dream that I had. But as I move further day by day into BSN, I realized I was enjoying every time I look forward to going to BSN for a weekend of program. It was becoming more fulfilling for me. And I eventually started to teach. Then one of the days, the founders of BSN, I am not one of the original founders of BSN. I was invited for just a short discussion, and I was told, can you create time to supervise the school? And this will not in any way, you won't need to relocate or it was at my time to just spend like 3 days in a quarter, find ways to supervise the school.
So just for clarity, you said when you are talking about the founders, you're talking about BSN in Nigeria.
Correct.
The founders invited you to supervise.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's how I was invited to the board. And so that's how I became dean. They have seen me, I was a pioneer set advisor. They have possibly observed by the wayside. They have seen me handle students' complaint. And you remember, I was coming from a commercial background, and so not from an academic background. But the more I relate to the students and to the lecturer in the academic setting of the BSN, the more interest I develop in academics. By this time I was invited, I had already started to teach, to teach marketing, because a lecturer for marketing did not show up. Remember, it was the expatriates who were coming to teach. And so for one reason or the other, the visa did not come out on time and could not turn up. And therefore, and the set had already assembled in the hotel in Otta. So I decided to teach. That was my first effort at teaching. And the students scored very well. I recollect a lawyer among them who scored like 80-something% in marketing. That was an unusual thing. And so that's how I became a teacher. And then by the time I became the head of the school, or the dean, or the director for the program itself in Nigeria, I continued to teach in addition to play my role on supervision. And as the school grew, by the time I became a director in the school, there were 98 students in the school. That was in 2008. From
Sorry,
that,
just by director, do you mean dean?
yes, I'm using the same.
Yeah, using
The academic term they use is dean. Yeah.
Okay, all
So,
right.
but we run the school like a business entity. So that's why they use phrase like director or CEO of the school. So because I run the school, so on behalf of the board of directors of the school, and so essentially, the school continued to be a top priority for me as a desire to transform it. And the workers, I'm usually, God has been very gracious to me that people who work with me are usually very committed. And they have shown great level of commitment. They work working days, weekends, without complaining. And they do their best to ensure that the school continues to grow. And so even though we met only 98 students in the school in 2008, when I stepped in as the dean of the school, we've had over 800 students graduate from the school today.
Wow.
We've had another 800 who have registered. So we've had not less than about 1,700 people who have actually had cause to have been recruited in the school from inception to date, courtesy of these people who work with me in operations, in marketing, in finance.
But I just want to still dig a little bit deeper.
Okay.
Yes, you were already giving guest marketing lectures.
Yeah.
You were asked to supervise. You joined the board.
Yes, sir.
But at what point did it get into the other board members or whoever leads BSN to say, okay, we are going to make Mr. Baale this commercial driven man, the dean? Like, I'm just very interested in when that happened and how.
It happened in 2008, in the month of June. I was in the month of May, we had discussion, and with effect from June 1, I became the dean. The chairman board of directors, Mr. Ayodele Wale, who works with as deputy coordinator for Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library. At that time was executive director for African Leadership Forum. He's the chairman of the board, and he had a session of discussion with me, and just invited and said, just come and help us provide leadership to the school. So that was the beginning. And any assignment I have, and I have a tendency to put all my physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual energy into whatever I'm doing. I try to develop passion for whatever I need to do. So the passion to see the school grow has helped. And that is how I ended up moving from the pharma industry to now moving into what I call academic world. Remember that in consulting, I'm also involved with some form of academic work also, but not in the academic setting. So the school prepared me, my past experience prepared me well for consulting. I also went for certification courses in consulting, and the school therefore became more like providing the necessary flavor for my consulting. So the school was helping me with my consulting. My experience in the industry and with consulting in the various industry was helpful to me in sharing experiences in class. And so it was creating a synergy on both sides. And so eventually, that was of great help to me until the school decided in 2018, November, to make me a professor. And so it's been, remember that by 2018 I put in about 15 years in the academic world. So, of which 10 years was full-time, and including the 5-year part-time earlier. That's a total of 15 years. And I've had many hours of teaching each year, In most cases, they put in not less than about 300 to 400 hours of teaching. And that was very, I mean, on yearly basis, that was really, really significant. And was very helpful in terms of being given a recognition by the school in the Netherlands.
Fantastic. So I should have said Professor Lere Baale initially.
No.
That was my mistake.
No.
So I mean, I think because of the fact that you are well known in this industry, I think it has drawn quite a number of people within the healthcare industry to come
to the school. Yeah.
And get an MBA.
That's correct.
But I just wanted to ask, like, what benefit does that really impact in somebody? Maybe like a doctor or a nurse. We know pharmacists have been doing this for quite a while, but like a doctor or any other person in lab sciences, like what benefit does an MBA truly give them?
The knowledge you acquire in an MBA degree has a tendency to change your perspectives of life and of the world. It will prepare you for accelerated career growth if you are in career. It will give you a great leverage for your leadership journey, either in a career or in entrepreneurship. And I think you must never forget the fact that the typical healthcare professional, even though has very sound technical knowledge, we were not thoroughly exposed to business admin skills or to what I would call entrepreneurial skill. So an MBA will serve as a good bridge to help us in our career growth and to help us to be able to know how to transit from career to entrepreneurship the way I've done. And because I was already well known in the industry, as somebody who launched several products within the shortest possible time, as a marketing manager between 1990 and 1990, and the time I led the industry, I'd launched several products. I'd launched Zoloft, Zitomas, Daflucan, Novask, Unacin, Viagra, Carduet, and during this period there was a transfer of the old pharmaceutical products and Walanamba products like Lipitor, like Zalatan, and the rest of them were also transferred to Pfizer as a lot of acquisition and mergers.
Yeah.
And so it was common for me to launch these products in all the geopolitical zones in the country. And that therefore enhanced my visibility. That was part of the glamour of leading a marketing team in Pfizer. And that was very helpful in terms of my profiling, glamour of that role, and I speak in most of those launch meetings. So I believe that the MBA program has tremendously helped me in my career. It changed my perspectives. It helped me to be able to understand the language of the finance people, the language of the medical doctor, the language of other professionals in the pharma industry that I needed to relate to, either from operations point of view, materials management point of view, financial management point of view, human resource management point of view, international management point of view, all the areas of business admin. I wasn't an expert in any of them, outside providing great leadership in marketing, but I understood the language in relating to other people in other functional areas. And that is generally lacking in the healthcare. In the healthcare, we have not been taught on how to work with each other as team players. We have yet to make patient the centerpiece of our interest. We still find we are still myopic somehow within the healthcare team. Our focus is more on competition with other professionals instead of cooperation, making the patient the centerpiece. And I think having a broad knowledge of MBA will help in improving people's perspectives about it will help in helping people with their perspectives on on other people's role, and to know that a tree cannot make a forest, and each member of the healthcare team will need to support each other for the purpose of enhancing the best interest of the patient, and that will not in any way inhibit them from growing. If I see any group of professionals who tries to press the other professional people down, it's a sign of myopism. It's a sign of inadequacy. It's a sign of lack of internal validation. It's when you are not satisfied with your role that you want to press other people down. Those who have internal validation understand that it is in freedom of allowing everybody to exercise their professional services in a maximal way that will create the best benefit for the patient and the best benefit for the team. So, leadership journey or leadership knowledge for a very excellent leadership journey in the healthcare team is still not strong enough. And I would recommend that every healthcare professional or any professional either in engineering, law, things like that should actually have an MBA. It will change their perspective. Rather than compete with other people, they will find out that collaboration is the way forward today.
Thank you.